Hello and welcome to Just a Moment. My name is Kristen Harding. Welcome to the show. Today my guest is Aurora the Empath, and we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of different subjects because that's what we do, right?
That's right.
Well, how have you been, my friend?
Oh, lovely, lovely healing. Arizona heals, especially Tombstone.
All good.
Yeah.
I've been sending hopes for better weather for you so that there be a little water because I understand that Lake Mead is in a perilous situation. So
Mhm.
positive thoughts for anybody that can, influence the rain. Uh, please.
Um, you know, positive thoughts for rain around the world, not just Lake Mead. Rivers and lakes around the world are at record lows. If anyone's interested, look up the hunger stones, and you'll see what I mean. I think you froze, Kristen. Um, we should probably restart unless you're going to be right back, and she just might be right back and
I am.
say
And
about the hunger stones, maybe.
well, the internet connection just went out and we weren't even talking yet about anything questionable. So, all
Well,
right.
the three of us
That's
have been,
easy.
so
What?
we have been, so we may have garnered some attention before the recording.
Oh, that's true. Yes, we do chat about unusual subjects.
And
So, when you and I first started chatting, one of the things you asked me was if I knew what a dark worker was. And I was like, and I know what a light worker is. But I realized because you thought that you were going to have to explain it to me, and you were kind of relieved that I already knew.
mhm,
Do you think we should like define what it is?
probably because it's not easy. It's like trying to explain the color blue to someone who was born blind.
Right?
If you can't feel it for yourself, a lot of people just have no concept that it exists.
Right. Right. Or that anybody would want to,
Hmm.
you know?
It's not
Well,
about want at this point. It's really not. It's about survival at this point.
well, exactly. But you and I both chose hard level, not easy.
That's true.
So I looked it up and kind of combined a bunch of different definitions.
Hmm.
And what I came up with is that a light worker is a soul who has undergone a spiritual awakening and feels a deep calling to help humanity spread love and elevate the energetic vibration of the planet. Would you agree so far?
Absolutely.
They actively choose to embody compassion over fear, acting as guides and healers in their everyday lives.
Hmm.
Their core mission and roles are energy transmutation. Rather than avoiding negative situations, light workers are believed to help process and transform dense fear based energies into a higher positive vibration. And the spiritual awakening, they undergo a remembering phase where they recall their soul's purpose and feel driven to make positive impacts no matter what their occupation is. Everyday service. They are not confined to alternative or fringe lifestyles. Modern lightworkers exist in all professions, from teachers and therapists to activists and corporate workers, and bring integrity and care to their roles. Page 2, because you know what we're doing. Common traits. Empathy.
Mm-hmm.
They are highly sensitive, intuitive, and deeply attuned to the emotions and energetic needs of the people around them. We can read a room.
Mm-hmm.
They have a desire to ease suffering. They are natural helpers who seek to heal emotional and energetic wounds without needing recognition or control.
Mm-hmm.
They focus on unity. They generally approach life with non judgmental, compassionate perspectives, focusing on connection rather than division.
Mm-hmm.
And they speak life into people. To speak life into someone means that you use your words to uplift and encourage them and empower them. It's a deliberate choice to build someone up, validate their potential, and give them hope rather than tearing them down with criticism or negativity. Encouragement is offering words that motivate someone to keep going when they feel like quitting. Validation is acknowledging their worth, feelings, and hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Affirmation, reminding them of their strengths, value, and potential. Grace, extending forgiveness and understanding instead of judgment. Now let's go into a dark worker.
Mm-hmm.
A dark worker is a purely ego driven individual or a psychic vampire. They are viewed as self serving manipulators who use spiritual tools, witchcraft, or psychic abilities to feed off the energy of high vibrating individuals. To protect yourself against a dark worker, especially those operating from a manipulative service to self orientation, a light worker must shift from passive absorption to active spiritual hygiene and firm personal boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Because dark workers thrive on emotional reactions and energetic hooks, the defense relies on closing your energetic vulnerability. So, number one, we master energetic shielding and grounding.
Mm-hmm.
We don't wait until we feel drained to protect our energy. Watch how you feel around some people. Do you feel empowered? Do you feel positive? Or do you feel puzzled and confused and
Drain.
confounded and drained?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, watch the energy. It's amazing. So, imagining a golden light shield, visualize a bubble of brilliant white or golden light enveloping your body. Set the intention that this shield reflects all negative intent while allowing love to pass through it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put an energetic lockdown. If you get caught in a draining conversation, you physically cross your arms or you lock your fingers together over your solar plexus, which is like right above your belly button. And this mentally and physically seals your main energy chakras.
Mm-hmm.
You can also do earth grounding, where you walk barefoot on the grass and visualize roots growing from your feet into the earth, and that dumps the excess negative energy.
And touch a tree if you can.
What was that?
And touch a tree if you can.
Oh, absolutely.
Hug it
Also,
even.
establish absolute non-reaction, and this one's hard. Non-reaction. Withhold emotion. I can't even say it so hard. Withhold emotional fuel. Respond with flat, polite, neutral language. And avoid confrontations.
Mm-hmm.
Do not try to correct them, argue your spiritual viewpoint, or heal them. I made that mistake myself.
So did I.
Unless they truly want to help themselves, they will not heal.
Mhm.
And recognize the projection, because this has been happening a lot lately. I've been seeing this a lot. Remind yourself that their behavior is a reflection of their own shadow, not a flaw in your light.
That's right. And there's another way to
What's that?
stop them from feeding on you. If you bring your energy to a higher frequency, they can't ingest it. One
Right?
of the reasons that they try to make you emotional is to bring your vibrations down to a level that they can ingest.
Yes.
If you're too high frequency, they'll move on.
Yeah. Because they cannot feed when you are living in a bubble of love and light. I mean,
Mhm.
there's no fear, there's no anger, there's no excess emotion that is negative for them to feed on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like ingredients for them.
right?
Mhm.
And we do, I mean, we're human. We react. We all do it. But having that discipline to have just that momentary, oh, I guess I know what I'm dealing with now.
Mhm. Mhm. Just to mentally step away and not give them the reaction that they're looking for.
And I feel like I should remind people that in the end times there will be false prophets.
Many,
Yeah.
many.
Matthew 7:15-16 says, beware false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravening wolves. Meaning they're starving to death. They want to feed off our light. We're not going to let them.
That's right.
1 John 4:1 says, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets have gone out into this world.
You've got to go with your gut. We are all born with discernment. That's been attempted to be taken from us in many different
Mm.
ways or
We're
altered
afraid
beliefs.
to.
But we're all born with discernment. And women specifically, we have this gut instinct.
Women's
And
intuition.
it it doesn't let us down. So if that spirit or prophet or whatever, that person you're listening to, if that person brings you love and light and closer to the higher vibrations, then there shouldn't be any question between that one and the one who spreads fear and division and lowers everyone's vibrations around them.
Right? So by recognizing what we're working with
Hmm.
in daily life, we can actually protect ourselves once we, just figure it out. Because there are situations like at work, when I used to work for corporate, there were so many people that were not on the same frequency as I was. And you just kind of take a step back. You don't put yourself in their targets.
Hmm.
How would you say that in your life that you have, shall we say, redirected narcissism, dark work, that sort of thing?
Mm. Honestly, by staying positive. Every negative comment I respond with something positive. I can pull a silver lining out of anything. And
Awesome.
that is, I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. So
Right.
I will deal with this narcissist because I am meant to learn something through this, but I'm not going to let it consume me
Right.
or upset me and bring me down to that narcissist level. I will simply tire that narcissist out and they will walk away because they can't stand the positivity.
Exactly.
They find a negative, I find a positive. And I'll do it in such a way that oh, it's simply banter, but I won't give up, and I will not allow the last word to not be had by myself.
Good. I think that is the women's warrior way. You know, we
Mhm,
use our words in a way that will clear the energetic path
mhm,
so that those that resonate with us can join us.
mhm. And by this time, most of us should be able to tell who resonates with us and who doesn't.
Ah,
There's so much going on right now that
right.
although there are many who are chemically damaged who are probably unaware of what's going on in their own minds right now, and that
And
is
how they're programmed. I hate to say it, but I've seen in people younger than myself a
Mhm,
change like politics are life and death. And if we don't follow their narrative, we aren't even a part of the family anymore.
mhm.
To me,
Hate.
that's horrible. You should be able to take a step back from your narrative and see that there's a bigger picture. But I think that they've been so programmed they can't see it. What do you
Some
think?
still can. I have a few cousins who have different political views than I do, and we don't talk about it with malice. I
Right,
have one of my best friends, long-term friends, is card carrying opposition to my political views. But we can sit there and have an hours long conversation about her views versus my views and talk about it and actually get more information from each other than we do from the news
right,
because the news is about dividing.
right,
And we are still friends at the end of the conversation and, love you, talk to you later.
right.
There's, it does not have to divide us. It's not being a liberal or being a Democrat, that is not the entirety of what these people are and who they are.
Well, that's just it. When I was growing up, I never get political, but I'm going to get political for a second, okay? When when I was growing up, the Democratic Party was totally different than it is now.
Absolutely.
And my grandfather, being a staunch Republican, um, we didn't always see eye to eye, but we still
Mhm.
loved each other.
Yeah,
Then everything changed, and I have to say that now I don't. I would put myself in the middle as an independent
mhm,
with Republican leanings now rather than Democratic because of the waste and the fraud. And I live in Minnesota, and I guess Minnesota nice means Minnesota fraud. So it's horrible because those people that truly needed the help here, they're not getting it
yeah.
because of greed and avarice, and that's what I'm seeing in the world right now. Everybody's so greedy.
There's so much fear.
Yeah, and that's
The
why they're
emotion,
doing
there's an emotion wheel that some psychiatrists use to let you know where the peripheral emotions are all coming from the base. And all of this confusion and anger and distraughtness is all based in fear, and fear is the lowest vibration
things.
I think that we can actually emit. There's so much of it. It's almost as if it is being projected at us
Mhm.
somehow.
Right?
For
Gee, almost like energy direction.
entertainment purposes only.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're recording, so nobody can hear us right now, so we're a little bit safer than normal. But if there is an interruption in the broadcast, we know why.
Mhm.
What
Mhm.
else would you like to chat about? I still want to talk about the ley lines and the alternate realities. Are you okay with that? Or would you rather talk about the codes?
Ley lines are a little traumatic right now, but how
Well,
about we
I'm,
how
I'm
about we
going
talk
to
about,
just,
go
I'm
ahead.
just going to say yes, that on a ley line, and I have witnessed this myself, it is easier to step into a parallel reality. And sometimes those parallel realities are not happy ones.
No, they're
So
not.
if you are having dreams that are exceptionally vivid,
Mhm.
if you are having intuition that you feel like, almost like a deja vu,
Mhm.
don't doubt yourself. You may have stepped momentarily into a parallel universe because they are overlapping like crazy right now because as I understand, the sun's frequency is changing. And wow, we went outside yesterday and it was so hot. Now I have to explain, a week and a half ago we had a freeze warning and yesterday it was 90 degrees.
Our sun went from yellow to white.
Yeah. And they're not telling us why.
All I have to say
Or should
is
we say, which
anyone who would
sun?
like to look up patents, um, artificial sun, artificial
I was going to say,
moon,
which sun went white,
just check out who's got the patents and how long they've had them. That's all I want to say.
right? Oh, that's a nice, safe way to dance. Good job.
Mm.
All right, let's talk about codes. I should explain why I want to go into this. Um, I have in my life the most positive, wonderful family member that I never hoped I'd have, and that's my daughter in law. And she sent to me a code for healing. And I went, oh, I know what that is. And she's like, what is it? And I said, well, it's a healing code, it's a manifestation code. And she's like, yeah, it is. So I did a little research. You know me, I kind of overdo it. And
Never.
what these do is we're supposed to focus on the numbers to harmonize with the vibrations of the universe. So give me an example, like financial, love and relationship, success mindset, health and wellness, any kind of like general healing. Give me an idea. What would you like to see change in your life?
Health and wellness.
Health and wellness. So, general healing, rejuvenate mind and body, overcome, relieve headaches,
All of the above.
right? Well, let's pick one. Um, General healing, okay? 918-794-8181. And what we're supposed to do is write it down, put it
Mhm.
on water bottles, put it on post-it notes. Just keep saying these codes and see what happens. So another one, um, ideal future, 813791. Now the one that she sent me, I believe, was, yeah, it was 918-794-8181, which is general healing. And that's what made me go into it because there's like general healing, good health, weight loss, clear skin, improve fertility, rejuvenate the mind and body, having a perfect body, meaning perfect health. I like that one. 8240692.
I wouldn't
They,
mind you sending me a copy of that list if you wouldn't mind.
I would be happy to, and I should probably type it up because it's in my handwriting.
Oh, I read
Um,
cursive.
I know you do, and it's a lost art. Oh, are you and I in agreement that they are not teaching cursive anymore so that they cannot read our Constitution?
That's not the only reason AI hasn't mastered the reading of cursive yet.
Well, that makes sense.
They
What
don't
it
want
can
not
interpret.
just our Constitution, but all of the old journals from the founders. They are all in cursive. It's almost become akin to Old English. We used to be able to translate it easily. It's a lost art. Now very
Yeah.
few. I can't. You can.
Well, F times gang of lay. I mean, people sing that. I mean, they say it F times gang of lay. And I knew what it meant. Things go wrong. I don't know how I knew it. Oftentimes things go wrong is basically
Mm-hmm.
what it translates to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, I was reading Beowulf,
It makes a
Chaucer,
difference. Mm-hmm.
Shakespeare when I was
Mm-hmm.
9 years old because it was a challenge and I wanted to be challenged. So, are there any more codes that you'd like to talk about?
Well,
Since I've
those
got
are all the
a
positive codes. I wonder, conversely, what
ooh, yeah. If there was
the
a negative
negative
one,
codes?
I didn't look into that because you know me. I have a positive outlook.
Yes, but I also see the practical side of things, and we are not the only ones with access to the information. So, would it
You're
not
right.
behoove us to study and learn the negative ones in order to possibly protect or deflect, even if we have to come up with our own codes, which I believe we are capable of. Once we master the
Yes.
idea of it, we'll be able to
Well,
write our own code.
along with the book we're going to write, we're going to have more fun than we planned on.
I think so. That's what I'm making out.
Um, one of the things that we had chatted about is that the star seeds feel a little lost. And there are new generations of star seeds that are coming into awareness and awakening. And we thought about how we would have really loved to have a book that would give us guidance.
You know, I was thinking about that. Um, the young nowadays have been intentionally disadvantaged. The ones growing up staring at a tablet instead of, say, finger painting, digging holes, climbing trees, coloring, reading, playing with their friends. They're having cognitive issues as adults. They didn't get the base learning as kids for problem solving and decision making, and a lot of them are very lost because they were not given the proper tools to navigate this world. And as such, those that young is going to be unreachable by book.
Well, my
Excuse
son was born in
book.
1980. My son was born in 1984, and he was a little hyper, but most kids are. And I was trying to teach him ways to work around that.
Mhm.
Well, other people in his life, I'm not going to name names, uh, chose to see it as he had ADD or ADHD,
Mm,
and they drugged him.
mm.
And yeah, it sped him up so fast it slowed him down so that he could think. But it also kind of curtailed his creativity. And now, as an adult, he is no longer on that because he chooses not to be and has had to learn those workarounds. But had he actually learned them as a child, it wouldn't have been as hard. So that's what I'm encouraging parents to look at when a doctor says ADHD. Ask yourself, is it really? Or is it just that they're being accused?
Leonardo da Vinci obviously had dyslexia, ADHD. What would we have lost as a culture if his
Exactly.
parents had seen it as a deficit and something that needed to be fixed? All
Or
of those
dream,
conditions are simply the variety of the workings of the brain. Nature
right?
loves variety. Nothing is
Mhm.
supposed to be all of the same, including the way our brains work.
Right,
Having these differences allows us a different perspective on a possible problem that others all see the same way because they all think the same way. It is not a detriment to be fixed. It is a difference to be celebrated. I
right,
have dyslexia, and as a child, I learned a love of books for survival reasons and never knew that I was dyslexic until I was an adult
right.
because I learned to read and had a love of reading beyond that. Numbers are still poo-poo, but math has always been. However, reading, I had a workaround. No drugs.
Yeah.
Didn't know until I was an adult. And it's
Okay.
no drugs. We're curtailing the progress and the creativity of these children. And I can say this because I have been on some chemicals that, yes, they remove the low lows, but they also remove the high highs
Right.
and your motivation to create.
Well, that's why I always say start with the natural stuff first.
Mhm.
Because in my life, what has helped me is something called St. John's wort. It
Mhm.
stabilizes the mood swings. It makes, it doesn't like curtail any of the spikes of creativity or anything like that. I'm not a zombie, but I'm
Yeah.
also not sunk in the swamps of sadness either.
Mhm. There's there's science now saying that if your gut biome is out of whack, that alone can cause depression, even if there
Mhm.
is no other reason.
Right,
It's your microbiome trying to get your attention to say something is off here, please fix this.
right.
But we've forgotten about.
We're taught not to listen to our bodies. We're supposed to listen to the doctor. Well, fiddle
Mhm.
faddle. You know, the
They're still
first
practicing.
defense,
They're still practicing. They haven't got it right yet.
exactly. The first defense is to know and then, say these are my symptoms to the doctor.
Yes, yes.
But you know how I feel
And
about
if they
Western
don't
medicine,
believe them, don't give up. I
right?
had an entire team of doctors tell me that my issues were all in my head, and I moved to a different state and I found out my
There was
issues
a
were not all
reason.
in my head.
It was not in your head. There was a physical reason. And that is why we say doctors practice. They haven't figured it all out yet.
Hmm.
But
Had
that's
I
why
let it go?
I don't like Western medicine for that reason because if you in my philosophy according to them is what they have shown me is if you love somebody drug them. Well, no. In Eastern medicine, if something is wrong, there's a corresponding pressure point,
Mm-hmm.
and you can find relief without drugs. It's called acupuncture,
Hmm.
and it works.
Western medicine is great for trauma, for emergencies,
Yes,
best in the world.
I would agree.
However, to keep yourself healthy, That has to be a personal job.
Yeah.
You can't rely on anyone, specifically one whose paycheck relies on you being sick.
Right?
There are other countries in the world, I won't say where, but you can easily look them up, where doctors are actually paid by the state better if their patients don't have to come in, because that means they are being kept healthy.
Yeah.
And if they keep coming in, the doctor is penalized because he's not making them well.
Right.
We don't do that here. We do the exact opposite.
Well, aren't you also a country that plants fruit trees for the poor? Yeah.
Mhm,
We could do something that simple.
mhm.
Plant a tree and give the produce to a food shelf.
There's also a country that allows their pot plants to grow so large that they become trees that grow bark. And once they grow bark, you can tap the beautiful, miraculous oil that's inside of it. It's highly medicinal. Look it up.
That I had never heard of a pot tree, and I sent you a piece of amber of tree sap that had solidified. We thought it was tree sap, and then it turned out to be marijuana. It was beautiful, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
But
Oh,
I had never heard. I mean, to me, it gets to a certain height, you harvest it, and the plant's gone. But in nature, they can get huge and live many generations.
think about the tap root that it grows. Think about what you have to do to mitigate and keep it healthy. If it were in the ground, that taproot would go down to the water table.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Well, I used to be one of the people before it was legalized that would educate people about the effect and benefits of hemp because you can make hempcrete. You can use hemp for so many different things. And back in colonial times and until the, I think, early 1900s, if you had a farm, you were required to grow hemp for
Well,
the
George
ropes for the
Washington
tea.
insisted that it to be a cash crop for the country.
Yes. But then Big Pharma
Well,
said, hey, we can't have these people being well on their own.
no, it wasn't so much that. It was the cotton and paper industry. They were old dinosaurs. They had too much money. And people started to realize that hemp makes better paper faster without clearing forests, but it took money away from those old dinosaurs. And it also makes better parachutes and clothing. So the cotton industry was about to go under, and they lobbied and they said, oh, well, we don't want this specific culture that does that all the time to be successful here. So we're just going to terrify the population and say that if you smoke one joint, you're going to be addicted to heroin. And then they put out that ridiculous reefer madness, and it was ridiculous on its face. Those actors were so embarrassed, but they were told, if you don't do this, you'll never work in Hollywood again.
Right?
And they wanted their careers. So they decided to act like tweakers for the
And
sake
go
of the money.
crazy. Yes, Sublime in their 420, uh, or 40, sorry, 40 ounces to freedom.
Mhm,
They have a song called Smoke Two Joints in the Morning. Smoke
mhm,
Two Joints in the Morning. That one? Well, in the middle of it, they have a clip from that movie.
mhm, mhm. Furthermore, Susan.
Yeah. They habitually smoked marijuana.
Reefers.
You know the song.
Oh, of course. Who in my generation doesn't?
Well, there you go.
Well, I'm sure a few.
There's a few, yeah. There,
Mhm,
there are people that are not sympathetic to our, love of a certain herb that brings us joy. And that's totally okay. I personally do not drink alcohol. So if I want to relax, that's what I partake of because it not only brings me joy, but a lot of pain relief. And I'm on the medical program here in our state, so I can.
Um, it also it would also give everyone personal freedom. It would free up a lot of money that goes to the pharmaceuticals,
Mhm.
to the clothing industry, which you don't know what chemicals have been on those clothes before they get there.
I
You
know.
don't know how they have been transported. You don't know who tried them on before you did. You don't know how clean that person was. The list goes on and on.
Right?
It used to be and something every woman knew how to do is make her own dress.
Hmm.
And a lot of people learned that in school during home ec. Well, when I got to the time when I should have had home ec, no, they made us choose
Between,
cooking or sewing.
oh, wow. Well, yeah, cooking would be
And then I
more
realized that they
important.
were not teaching us home cooking, they were teaching us how to cook in an industrial kitchen.
So, as a chef, but then you wouldn't have a lot of practical experience in the home. And that's what home ec was supposed to be.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I graduated in 1981, and they were just phasing out the electives, and they considered, unfortunately, they considered some of those classes that I thought were basics, sewing, knitting, crocheting, all of the old arts, as it were, they were
Hmm.
phasing them out because they couldn't find people to teach them anymore.
I'm sure that's what you all were told.
Hmm. But they wanted us to rely on the system and not ourselves, right?
Hmm.
That's what I
You
thought,
realize we should all be wearing linen everything. Even the Bible says we shouldn't mix fabrics. And
right?
that's because each fabric has its own frequency, and linen is the best frequency for our bodies.
That's
You can look
scratchy.
that up too. That's a very interesting rabbit hole. The frequencies of fabrics and the effect on the human body and plants.
Yes, yes. What we surround ourselves with, believe it or not, does make a difference.
It does. You
I
can wear
prefer,
fabric that lowers your vibration and you will feel sluggish and ill. Change your clothes to something linen and you'll be amazed at how you feel. There are
I prefer,
cultures on the planet who understand that, but have probably forgotten why.
I prefer cotton
Hmm.
because for me, linen is kind of scratchy. And I
Hmm.
know that you can soften it, but
Oh, we're not given the good linen.
right.
We have to soften it ourselves or learn to make it
Mhm.
ourselves.
Or learn to make it right.
And most people don't even have time to think deeply anymore, let alone sit down and make cloth,
Right.
since we can no longer survive on a one income household
No.
when women began to be taxed because
I
previously they
remember
weren't.
I remember that when women's rights were being contested, that I think it was like 1974.
Hmm.
Before that, a woman could not even have her own credit card if she wasn't married.
You know why women were contesting it?
1972.
Do you
What?
know why women were contesting it? Because it was billed as we're not taking housewifery away from you. We are giving you the option of something else. And it became now you have no option but to do the other thing because no one can afford housewifery anymore. And women
Oh,
wanted to be housewives.
yeah. Well, it's a
And
natural. If you're going to have children, you don't pay someone else to watch them.
well,
You
that's
watch
why the
them
ears cropped up.
yourself.
And why do you think the television was made so cheap that it went into every home almost as soon as it was invented.
Oh my
Technology
God.
usually is ridiculously priced for years until it comes down, and that was instantly affordable for every home. Round
Just-
about the time women became taxed.
yeah. Well, I grew up in a time, you're going to really giggle, okay? My grandmother told me that they had just switched it, but in, now this would have been 1967,
Hmm.
and I think she said in 65 they switched it. But during this time, they only had the electricity on in the early morning and late at night. It was only available at that time. So what they would do is when these ladies would finish their house cleaning, their reward was to listen to the program or watch it on TV. That's why they called them soap operas, because they always were after you were done cleaning and they were promoting soaps.
That's that's
Crazy.
definitely part of the long game, isn't it?
It really is.
Hmm.
And there are very few people that remember that.
That's interesting. I was wondered why they called them soap operas. I thought it was because everyone was on their soapbox
Oh,
and
that's true, but no, it was because they were
damn
sponsored by the soaps. Also, in those soap boxes, they used to have the most beautiful glassware. So you would buy a box hoping that there would be a treasure inside.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking like depression glass.
I
So,
remember a promotion where there was a diamond ring in one.
wow.
I can't remember what company did it, but they advertised that in one of those boxes, it was almost Willy Wonka-ish people buying those boxes, I remember.
Well, that is how those ladies built their China services.
Mm-hmm.
They would get the glasses from the soap boxes, and then the banks would offer a piece every time you deposited a certain amount.
Really?
So yeah, because I asked, I'm like, this was the Great Depression, Grandma. How did you guys get all these beautiful things, right? And she's like, well, my dear, let me tell you a story. She said, I had a strawberry farm, and so we always had fresh produce. I had another sister that worked on an estate, so they always needed produce, but they had other kinds of produce, so we traded back and forth. And I'm like, bartering, it's genius.
Yeah.
And that's how they survived the Great Depression. Everybody was connected. If they
Mm-hmm.
needed beef, they would trade eggs. If they, or milk, or whatever they needed, they would trade for.
Mm-hmm. People also remembered the wild foods like amaranth and purslane. Purslane got people through the depression. It's healthier than asparagus and it grows wild. You don't have to water it. You don't have to plant it.
People think it's a weed.
All you have to do is recognize it.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, that is one of the Minnesota's most invasive is purslane, and
It's
it's
your
right there
food. Minnesota's
listed.
trying to feed you. The earth is trying to feed you.
Mhm.
You think the earth doesn't know people are hungry and desperate and starving?
Right,
She's giving it, call it the Gaia, call it the universe, call it the mycelial network, whatever. We are being offered what we need. We have simply forgotten how to recognize it.
right, because we're so used to going to the grocery store,
To buy produce that doesn't even grow here.
right?
There are wild potato like starchy things out here in Arizona that are more nutritious than what we buy at the store, but every recipe calls for a russet
Hmm.
or an Idaho potato.
Right? Hmm.
All we have to do is look around. There's so much food. I could probably find I'm out here
Right?
And I could probably find 5 edible plants within 10 feet of the vehicle I'm sitting in.
And most people think they're weeds.
Mm-hmm. Some are
Well,
medicinal, some are just nutritional.
that's what one of the things I plan on teaching my grandchildren is that some plants, we stay away from, but other plants are really good for us.
Mm-hmm. And some can be harvested early and dehydrated and put into a little bottle and used later to make tea
Right? That's how green tea is made.
or incorporated into the flour for your biscuits.
Hmm. I have a friend who makes green biscuits. Don't ask any questions.
Dave's not here, man.
Right? Man, it's Dave. It's Dave. It's me. Open up. I got the stuff.
Dave's not
Dave's
here,
not
man.
here. Oh my goodness, we're showing our age. That's Cheech and Chong. Well, we are at the almost end. My goodness, the time just goes so fast. Is there anything else you'd like to wrap up with?
Um, just everybody keep the positivity. I know things are hard right now. Things are hard for all of us right now who are trying to be honorable and do the right thing. It's easy to get ahead if you're willing to hurt other people, but those of us who aren't, we just keep at it and we're going to get so much farther ahead. We're going to hit our streak and we're going to pass those people and just keep at it. Everything
Yeah,
happens for a reason, even if you can't see it right now. I guarantee, look back at some tragedy in your life 5 years ago that you thought was the end of your world, and then see all the steps that brought you from that point to where you are now,
right?
and how much better where you are now is, and how that could not have happened had this not hit the fan. Sometimes it's not falling apart, it's just falling into place.
Exactly. Stained glass is a bunch of many pieces put back together into something beautiful. And
That's right.
sometimes that's what we are. We're just big pieces of stained glass.
But we're
Gotta
all
let that light shine through it, though. What was that?
I said, we're all beautiful individually, and together, once we realize that we are all the same and we can all be together without malice and division, it's going to be the most beautiful thing we've all ever seen. It's going to feel so
Mhm.
why we hadn't done it before. Why hadn't we done this years ago?
Because we weren't ready.
That's what we will tell ourselves. Yes. Everything that we're going through is bringing us there.
I
Sometimes
like
we
that.
have to shed the ick before we can heal.
Say that again because the wind blew in.
Sometimes we have to shed the ick before we can heal.
Yes, I agree. It is the infection that has to come out before the healing can begin.
That's right.
And we just left uh, one of the, I hate to say it, but one of the most negative signs, it was like the darkness that we just left, and now we're going into the fire horse in Chinese astrology, and the fire horse brings new opportunities and new beginnings, but we had to wrap up all of that snake energy that was holding us down and holding us back from just enjoying these new beginnings. And
Mm-hmm.
so if something is offered to you guys, don't second guess it. Don't like put it into the category of that's unattainable, because you might be surprised.
That's
There
right.
might be new opportunities. All you have to do is step into. And we've both seen it recently in our lives where there's an opportunity to do something that we've never done before. And so all we have to do is be strong enough and courageous enough to accept what the universe is blessing us with.
And the universe is always listening, and the universe doesn't discern negative or positive in our views. The
Right,
universe listens to what you project. The
right.
universe thinks you're projecting negative, that must be what you want. That's what I'll give you. You're
Hmm.
projecting positive, that must be what you want. That's what I'll give it to you. Don't ever use that CANT word. That is a curse upon yourself and all those who hear it. Say
I
things like,
agree.
I have not yet figured out how to.
Right.
That prevents the block in your mind and in your
Exactly.
energy.
Or I will find a way.
That's right.
When you want to say I can't, you say no, I can. I must
Mm-hmm.
find a way.
Mm-hmm. I will
Because
find a way.
then again, you're not blocking that energy.
That's
It's
right.
like Untouched by an Angel, which is one of my very favorite shows from forever ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was a professor that said, I do not want to hear I do not know. I want to hear I do not care. Because if you cared, you would know.
I like that. That's right.
So my suggestion for people is look into those things that you've always wondered about. The things that maybe, well, for me, it was painting. I had no idea what I could do until I started doing it.
That's right. That's right. Whatever brought you passion as a child, think back what you were absolutely obsessed with as, say, a 10-year-old, an 11-year-old, even seven,
I
and
was so into music.
give it a shot because sometimes we know that young that this is what we're meant to do. It's just our purpose gets lost in the world where everyone is trying to tell us who we are and who we should be, what is real, what is not, and how your life should unfold.
Yes.
Kids haven't learned that yet. So sometimes they can see clearer. This is what brings me joy. I'm good
Hmm.
at it. This is what I'm meant to do. But when you are a grown up, that seems like fantasy. Get a real job,
Right?
save your retirement. Don't take a chance. And
Oh,
kids are all taking chances. Take a
I
chance.
heard that. I heard that my whole life. You can't make money from singing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make money from talking. You
Mm-hmm.
can't make money from this or that. And I'm like, who cares?
Go
I'm
work in
still
an
gonna
office.
sing, I'm still gonna talk, I'm still gonna do all these things. I'm not financially based in my energy. I'm
That's right.
service to others, not service to self.
That's right. And when you service a purpose rather than yourself, things come easier to you. I mean, not to you personally, but blessings come easier to you and more often.
Because you're not blocking them.
That's right. You're not second guessing them. You're not turning them away because, oh, that might be a trap, or, oh, I don't deserve this, or none of that.
And
The
that's a
high
big one.
frequencies bring in higher blessings.
That's a big one that I don't deserve this. This is too good. There's got to be something. Don't do that.
Hmm.
Don't do that. Do not second guess
Stop
it.
waiting for the other shoe to drop. Stop
Yeah,
waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's conditioning to make you not take opportunities that are presented to you.
exactly.
And we've got to start recognizing our conditioning and ridding ourselves of it. We're all capable. Recognizing it is the first step
And
and the
then
most important.
breaking it happens. It really can.
Yeah.
Just recognize it first.
And then
And
it makes the breaking so much easier.
yes, because it
Almost
resonates.
reflexive at one
Hmm.
point. Yes. Hmm.
Exactly. See, this is why I love doing shows with you. Well, that's all the time we have for now, my dear friends. Thank you so much for joining us. Never forget that you are amazing. You are loved. Be well, be safe out there, and I'll see you on the next show. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.